I sat silently through Ellen's 20-minute tirade, unfolding a faded property survey as 47 homeowners realized their fancy cars had crossed my private road to reach this showdown. Ellen, the HOA president, stood at the podium, brandishing a $70,000 fine for my unauthorized road fixes, her PowerPoint slides flashing fake engineering reports, while 3 lawyers loomed to cow me into submission. For 6 months, she turned my life into a suburban nightmare, measuring my lawn with a ruler, finding my daughter's car for improper parking in our own driveway, even threatening to condemn my house because I patched dangerous potholes with my own cash. But Ellen didn't know that road, Maple Ridge Drive, was mine, inherited from my uncle who built this neighborhood. As her voice rose, I watched her empire of control unravel, one survey line at a time. I'm Dan Carter, 53, a retired civil engineer, who thought I'd found peace in Oakwood Heights after a brutal divorce that stripped me of everything but my grit. In 2018, I bought a simple ranch house for quiet days and visits from my 17-year-old daughter, Lily. Oakwood Heights, with its 47 homes from the 80s, promised good schools, shaded streets, and a reasonable HOA. Maple Ridge Drive, the neighborhood's only access road, wound through like a lifeline. At first, it was a haven of working-class families who knew each other's names. But by 2023, tech bros and investors had moved in, replacing flower beds with cameras and neighborly ways with anonymous complaints. Enter Ellen Vaughn, 49, a realtor. With a silver Mercedes, she parked with surgical precision, always in designer athleisure and oversized sunglasses, radiating, "I'm in charge" energy. Her husband, Paul, a corporate lawyer, trailed her like a shadow, mumbling apologies for her crusades. Childless, Ellen had endless time to police everyone else's lives. Trouble started in spring 2024. A brutal winter had turned Maple Ridge Drive into a war zone deep enough to swallow a tire. Asphalt crumbling like stale bread, the scrape of bumpers became our grim anthem. As an engineer, I saw disaster brewing. I emailed the HOA offering to oversee professional repairs. Ellen's reply was swift. All changes need board approval. 6 weeks later, no action. The road worsened. Mrs. Lynn, a 76-year-old widow for houses down, nearly twisted her ankle fetching mail. That's when I acted. I called my contractor friend Mike, a burly guy reeking of asphalt and Red Bull, and we spent a weekend fixing the worst spots with top-grade materials. It cost me $3,500 out of pocket, but the road was safe. Neighbors thanked me, some offering to chip in. I posted before and after shots online, hoping to nudge the HOA. Big mistake. Within 48 hours, a cease and desist letter landed, accusing me of infrastructure vandalism. Ellen demanded I rip up my work and restore the original potholes, claiming my repairs clashed with HOA aesthetics. The neighborhood's online group erupted. Older residents backed me, but Ellen's wealthy allies chanted, "Rules are rules." I'd sparked a suburban class war. Ellen called an emergency HOA meeting at 100 p.m. On a Wednesday, when most folks work, only 3 of 6 board members showed, but that was enough for her. She unveiled a PowerPoint, roadway violations, a threat, with photos of my work circled in red, claiming it endangered property values. The board fined me $600 plus $250 daily until I undid my repairs. I fought back at the next meeting, armed with a real engineering report, traffic data, and material specs. I'll donate the work if you approve it retroactively, I offered. Ellen countered with a report from her cousin, a landscaper with no engineering credentials printed on his lawn service letterhead. She hiked my fine to $1,200 and $600 daily, mandating repairs by her husband's buddy, who charged triple market rates. Lily, tech-savvy and fearless, helped me expose the fake report in a PowerPoint that left jaws dropping. 3 board members quit in shame, but Ellen stacked the new board with her cronies, who added fraud investigation fees to my tab. Neighbors whispered their own Ellen horror stories, fines for wrong curtain colors, fence heights measured to the millimeter, a veteran cited for his flag after dusk. She was a dictator drunk on power, and I'd become her rebel. My fines hit for $1,000, climbing daily. Ellen drove by my house in her Mercedes, snapping photos like a stalker. She fined me for grass 3, 6 in tall, Lily's car, misparked by inches, and reported my untouched driveway to the county. I installed cameras catching her selective enforcement, her friend's identical violations when ignored. I built a spreadsheet of her bias. Mrs. Lin changed everything over cookies that smelled of sugar and resolve. She shared her late husband's HOA founding documents from 1982. Ellen's rules grass limits. Paint shades were never properly voted on. The original HOA was simple, neighborly. Digging deeper, I spent a weekend at the county recorder's office inhaling dusty ledgers. Maple Ridge Drive's history was wild. The developer kept it private, but after his 1990 for bankruptcy, it passed to a holding company, then dissolved in 2000, landing with Carter Properties LCLMY, Uncle Frank's firm. He died in 2017, leaving me his estate. Buried in his files, I found the deed. I owned the road every neighbor drove daily. Ellen's fines, now $9,000, threatened a lien on my house. She planned a standards hearing to ruin me, but I held the deed, shaking with fury and glee. My lawyer Sarah confirmed it in her oak-paneled office. Dan, you own that road. The HOA has no say. Private roads aren't public. You can control access, set rules, charge fees. I could have slapped up no trespassing signs, but I wanted fairness, not chaos. Ellen gave me the perfect stage, raising my fine to $30,000 and calling a televised problem resident meeting. She thought cameras would seal her victory. She was wrong. The meeting was electric. 60 neighbors packed into the community center. Channel 5's lights glaring. Ellen's PowerPoint defending our standards vilified my repairs as value killing. She demanded my ban from common areas and fraud charges, waving a ruler as a prop. I let her rant, noting every lie. When she offered me a chance to respond, expecting graveling, I unfolded the survey map. Let's talk road ownership, I said. The room froze as I revealed the deed. Maple Ridge Drive was mine, inherited from Uncle Frank, who built Oakwood Heights. You've all driven my property for years while I've paid to maintain it and been fined for it. The county official verified the deed. Ellen's face drained of color. She screamed, "Forgery," but her eyes betrayed panic. I offered a Maple Ridge cooperative $50 monthly per household for prom maintenance, me keeping ownership but welcoming input. Ellen called it extortion, vowing to sue anyone who joined. She stormed out, her allies trailing. Mrs. Lin rallied. 30 households to discuss my plan. The news aired that night. HOA fines man for fixing his own road. Social media exploded, slamming Ellen's overreach. She set a Friday deadline, threatening full consequences unless I dropped my scam. I waited, letting her dig deeper. Lily's online group exposed Paul's law firm for kickbacks from Ellen's approved contractors, tying her fines to his profits. Ellen's Save Our Neighborhood rally on Friday was pathetic 6 supporters with signs like, "Stop the road thief." She brought Paul's lawyer pals aiming to scare me. Mike, the contractor, shamed her with repair costs. Dan saved you $60,000. I lowered my fee to $40, including snow removal, giving until Sunday to decide before signage and usage agreements. Ellen's final bluff building and new road crumbled when the county official said it would cost $5 million and take years. I dropped the bomb. Ellen, you fined me for my own road while Paul's firm profited. You've terrorized Mrs. Lin's garden kids' chalk art veterans flags. The fraud's yours. The crowd gasped. 36 households backed my cooperative. 7 wavered. Ellen's 6 stood firm. Saturday, I installed private road Carter Properties LLC signs, granting a 30-day grace period. Ellen's last gas ripping down signs and calling cops flopped when the sheriff saw my deed. Media painted me as the calm hero, her as unhinged. 6 months later, Oakwood Heights thrives. The cooperative with 38 households keeps the road pristine with flower beds. Mrs. Lyn Loves Ellen lost the presidency in a landslide. Paul's firm tanked amid ethics probes. They fled their house for sale. The Fair HOA Fund seeded with cooperative surplus aids HOA abuse victims. Lily, now a college freshman studying policy, credits our fight for her path. Neighbors wave again. Kids play freely. Mrs. Lin's roses bloom and our potlucks are legendary. I never wanted this war, but standing firm showed bullies like Ellen fall when truth and unity collide. If you're facing HOA tyranny, document, research, fight.